today for a very special reason, for a very special candidate. The candidate that speaks for the people of this city. More importantly, speaks for the workers of the city, those that make the city run, those of us that keep the city safe. And we have a group here of law enforcement. All the law enforcement agencies you see on the streets, on the bridges, in the tunnels, on the corners of this great city. Every one of us united for Cathy Guerriero for Public Advocate. For one reason, she understands that a strong city is an economically viable city. An economically viable city is a safe city. Knowing that public safety comes first, and all else follows, whether it's real estate, whether it's business, or it's just bringing your family to school. We spend money here that goes to the tax base, and it allows our city government to do the job they do and hopefully take care of the people that we all serve as police officers. It's not often you see a group this large of unions, of law enforcement, standing together at one podium with the same message. Primary day is coming. Election day will follow. We need you to cast your vote for a safe city, a strong city, an economically viable city. Cathy Guerriero is that person for Public Advocate. We serve you on the streets every day. Well, now we're asking you. We need you as the citizens to come out, support Cathy Guerriero, because she understands the working people of this great city. I'm going to pass it now to Mike Palladino, the president of the Detectives Endowment Association, the detectives that investigate the crimes that go on in this city, and he'll speak on behalf of his members.
On behalf of all the New York City detectives, we are proud to stand here united with that, the PBA, and all the other law enforcement representatives in supporting Cathy Guerriero to be the public advocate. You can ask me why we support her. She's talented, she's educated, and she has energy. If anybody knows Cathy, you know she has energy. And she will bring that energy to a position that's pretty much been dormant the last 4 years. So Cathy is running for a very, very important position, the public advocate. And one thing that separates Cathy and distinguishes her from her opponents is that Cathy is an advocate for the public, and her opposition is only advocating for themselves. So the detectives are proud to stand here united with the rest of our brothers and sisters in law enforcement, and we know that Cathy will be successful on primary day. President of the Lieutenants Benevolent Association.
Take over. I'm the president of the Lieutenants Benevolent Association. A couple of months ago, Cathy came in my office announcing that she's going to run for public advocate. After that meeting, it was clear as day to us and my members that she is the next public advocate. From the day one, she's been consistent on her policy and her stance. Pro-law enforcement, that's why you see all the law enforcement here. She's not a professional politician like the other three that are running for this office. She has put law enforcement in her thoughts, and that she's been very consistent about what she's standing for. The other three are pandering to whatever the flavor of the month is. Okay, so that's why we knew right as soon as she walked into our office that she's the next public advocate, and we were going to endorse her. So from that point forward, we went out to our members, and we are now endorsing Cathy Guerriero from the beginning. She's the next public advocate. I'd like to pass this off now to Roy Richter, the president of the Captain's Endowment.
Roy Richter, president of the Captain's Endowment Association. It's actually fitting that we're standing here in front of a wall with the names of all police officers who paid the ultimate sacrifice. And the sacrifice that they gave is to the city and to the people of the city. And what this election is about, it's not about Cathy, it's not about any of the other candidates, but it's about these two guys. It's about the future of the city of New York. It's about their future. What's it going to be? Right now we're walking in a park, which is beautiful. We have people riding bicycles. We have people walking dogs. People are operating in a safe environment. This area was built as a result of the strong economy of the city of New York, and it's such a pleasure to me that there's finally a candidate out there for public advocate that's actually speaking about and it's acknowledging the sacrifice that the police officers have made, the benefit that they've given to the city of New York, and the economy that is here and robust in the city of New York. And that's the reason why we're here supporting Cathy Guerriero for public advocate.
Thank you.
And as you see by the large group of law enforcement people that are here representing all those members you see standing on those corners at the entrances to our tunnels and bridges and on the streets each and every day. But we're here today to hear from the candidate. We're here today so that you can hear her ideas and believe in her as much as we believe in her. It's my honor, on behalf of every one of the unions that are here, their executive boards and members that join us here today, it's my honor on behalf of them to introduce Cathy Guerriero, our candidate for public advocate.
Before I begin, I think there's some other unions that might report authority. Want to come and say a few words, right? Anyone else? I don't give everyone a chance. Ed, you want to say something? Thank you. Thank you all. I know the men behind me have heard me say these things, but they're worth repeating. So I will say them loud, and I will say them as often as I need to. From today and on, in just a few short days, I will be the next public advocate of New York City. And when that happens, I will be my father's daughter and know exactly who and where and what was the cause. And it was from the moment I all met you. More than 25 law enforcement organizations and unions in New York City and in New York State, every one has endorsed my campaign. I know that they are the shoulders, they are the giants upon whom I stand in this race. You have pushed me forward, and in return, I will push you exactly where you need to be, which is in the center of the conversation about what you do for New York City. This is not about politics, this is about people. This is not about politics, this is about safety. This is about the men and women in all of the law enforcement organizations in New York City who stand their ground and say this shall not pass. The men and women who stand in the gap and put their lives on the line so that our babies can be safe. So I can walk across the street with my daughter and not worry in neighborhoods that you wouldn't even live in, let alone walk your kid across the street. We know why the city is where it is today. It's because of the people behind me, and it has not been lost on me that we stand in front of a memorial wall, like was mentioned. People died to take care of this city. People will die to take care of this city. I am the next public advocate for a city that must stay safe in every way possible, economically, on the ground. I am also the next public advocate that maintains a hard line to make sure that your contracts and your pensions and your health care are held harmless. You have earned these dollars and cents. You have purchased into your contracts. You have deferred compensation. And like my father, they should keep their hands out of your pockets. Nothing else will do. I was raised by 3 generations of union workers. You all and my family built this city. How quickly they forget, and how quickly they have forgotten what people do behind closed doors. The things they'll never know, and they should never know what you prevent and what you do. You are here not only for what you do, but for what does not happen, because you stand in the gap. privilege. It is a singular moment for me, not as a politician, but as a person, as a mother. It is a singular moment for New York City. We stand in the crucible. They ought to know this is deadly serious. This is personal. I have personal friendships behind me. Lifelong friendships. It's not political. It has become personal. And the city is about to get very, very personal. I am proud. I am privileged to stand here. I am very, very honored to stand next to people who stand for those in New York City. Thank you all for coming, and thank you for your support. Don't forget to get them out.